All right, so here we are back in Black Myth Wukong. We just did the 5070 Ti yesterday, so we are going to do the 5080 right now. This is the Gigabyte Gaming OC version of the card. We're just going to run through and see what we can expect here. So this is just low settings, nothing spectacular at all. As you can see, everything looks fine. Latency is about 29.2 milliseconds, which is really, really good, but you know, it kind of looks rough. Low on this game looks very, very flat. So let's kick it up to medium and just see what we can expect there. I'm just going to work my way through all of these settings and upscale when I need to. This kind of gives you a really strong overview of what you can expect with different settings and when an upscale would be necessary. We are at full 4K right now, DLAA, so no upscaling right now. This game tends to look a little bit more stable while upscaled. For some reason, it just has a little bit of flicker to things when it's not upscaled. It's just part of the way it's made, I guess. But the main thing we're going to be taking a look at here is just how it runs. The game still does suffer from some micro stutters. But, you know, we're just going to see how that looks with, you know, various different settings and see if we can find a nice playable frame rate without really bad 1% lows. So anyway, let's just keep on going through here. This is a little bit stronger area than what I want to get into right now during a test. But yeah, medium right here, we're at 66 FPS. Latency is about 33 milliseconds. Let's jump over here and kick over to high. Let's go down here and jump over into it. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so high is where the stutters sort of start. And as you can see here, our 1% low is about 3 FPS from that big stutter that we just had. So really high is a good setting visually speaking and FPS speaking, but you know, you don't want to play a game with a bunch of stutters. So really the best thing to do is probably just kick on some upscaling right here. It'll look really good and it will give you a lot of headroom to keep going because on a 5080 you don't want to be under 60 FPS on a title like this especially. So let's just keep on going and do a little bit of upscaling. So let's come into here and just kick that down to 67. All right, so there you go. There's a quality upscale. And this title, really that slider, someone pointed out in the comments, is just kind of bogus. You pretty much have 67, 58, and 33. Everything else doesn't really matter. So that's just going to be what I test from now on this title. You learn something every day. Thank you again for the education, and I really do appreciate it. So let's just keep on running through here, and we will see what 90 FPS gives us here at the current settings. This is high with 90 FPS, and as you can see, it really did help our frame time graph out a lot. 1% lows are still quite low, though. We have 29 FPS here. Sorry, I need to turn my phone on silent. People are texting me, of course. But yeah, we are at 88 FPS here. Let's just see our 1% lows. Still hanging around 53 or so. Or 64 with a 0.1% lows, you know, definitely getting impacted by those stutters in this area. And you can see it on that graph there. So let's just keep going. You know, I don't really want to get into why it's stuttering because I don't really know why other than the game is just always stuttered. But let's just keep on running through it here and see what we can expect as we go up. So we're going to leave that on 67. Let's kick it over to very high and see what we can expect here. So that will drop us to about 68 FPS or so in this area. We've got a latency around 31 milliseconds, 33 milliseconds. I will call that latency or PCL. So if I do say PCL, it's the same thing. It just stands for post-compute latency, but I'm trying to get used to calling it latency with this new overlay that I'm using. But yeah, we are looking about 75, 73 FPS here on very high with a quality upscale. All right, so let's jump over into it, going up to cinematic and see what we can expect from that setting. So let's come down here, and as you can see, everything just gets kicked over to cinematic. Pretty simple graphics toggles on this title. But yeah, some big hangs, especially when you're going into different environments, like go through a cave into another environment. It tends to really want to snag up on you. And that's indicative of that 4 FPS that you see right there. Let's go ahead and get this dude here. All right, took care of him. Cool. All right, let's run through here. So we're at 58, 56 FPS. Latency is around low 40s, it seems. Let's see, where is he at? There he is. Okay, all right, he's way up there. Oh man, I totally missed him. There we go. Let's kind of work our way through these dudes here. There we go. Nice. Walked right into that one. Sweet. So, okay, so 55 FPS here. So let's jump up to balanced, just to get that base frame rate up a little bit more for us. Again, this is 58 FPS here, or 58% upscaling, and that's really all that matters. So you've just got those three settings like any other game. I'm not sure why they gave you this slider if it doesn't do anything. But yeah, it's still looking around 56, 57 FPS here. So still not quite up to snuff with what I would want to see. So let's go on up and just kick it over to 33, which is the ultra performance. Let's actually go back to performance. Let's do that one first. All right, so performance ought to do it. We are looking like 68 FPS here. Yes, so that gave us our 60 plus FPS back. Latency is nice. It's around 33 milliseconds, which feels really good. On a controller, I can go up to 75, 80 maybe, but on mouse and keyboard, I really like to be under 50 milliseconds if I can. That's just kind of like rule of thumb for me personally. That doesn't have to be your rule of thumb. That's just me. 50 on mouse and keyboard and 80 on controller. So right here, let's see. We are looking pretty good with these settings. I'm going to go ahead and kick on a little bit of ray tracing and then restart and come back into it with that setting. So we're going to go cinematic and then the first level of ray tracing here on low. All right, so I'll do that and be right back. All right, so we are back in it now, and we have the cinematic setting enabled with that first level of ray tracing. So as you can see here, jump back into it and show you kind of what I'm working with. I like to leave these sections in there just so you can be reassured I'm telling you the correct information. So right here, cinematic, ray tracing set to low, latency mode on auto. We've used that the entire time. No frame gen, so let's jump back into it here. All right, so we are dipping under that nice 60 FPS right now. I just fell down. That's cool. Oh man, these dudes have got a lot of help. Let's see if I can work my way through it. There we go. All right, so about 64 FPS here, 67. So we're looking pretty good as far as our performance goes in this area. Now up there, it was a little worse. So we're gonna just freeze this dude. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this guy taken care of. Nice. All right, so yeah, we're looking pretty good as far as performance goes. Right here at 60, you could do a little bit of frame generation, but of course, that's gonna be go ahead and get some dudes out here to fight him. That's going to be, a situation that dips below 60 sometimes. So, if you want to make sure that you are over 60 all of the time, we're going to have to either upscale or we are going to have to bring in a little bit more or bring down that preset a little bit. So right now, what I would probably do is just bring down that preset because cinematic to me is just not worth the cost. I think it looks good, but very high looks just as good, but it just kind of gets rid of that like mystical, ethereal look that cinematic tends to do, and it is kind of a drain on your system here. So what I'm going to do here is just run around and see what we can do as far as getting some numbers that seem to be a little bit more stable and not too far into the 50s. So right here at 74. So it really depends on where you're at in this game that kind of determines a lot of your performance. So while you get 80 right here, we were in the high 50s earlier. That's just a preference. Do you want to have 60 most of the time or do you want to have 60 all of the time? So the main thing to do is just play how you want to play. I'm just giving you the information. Oh God, these dudes are everywhere. There we go, take care of him. Just gonna run away. All right, yeah, so we have 70 FPS here. So let's just go up to that very next level of ray tracing. Now this is going to give you your reflections. Medium, very high. Looks really nice. You're in the 70s here, 76. Again, this is going to probably dip into the 50s in certain areas, but we can mitigate that with some frame generation, and then that just won't be an issue anymore because your latency looks really good. I mean, your latency is not bad at all. You're at 33 FPS here, or 33 milliseconds here, which that's plenty to frame gen from, especially with a FPS in the, I did not even see him, especially with an FPS in the 60s. Yeah, let me get away from him. He's going to explode. All right, yeah, so we're just going to run through here. Golly, these dudes are all over the place. Here we go. Come on. I'm just trying to do a test here. I don't want to get all into it. Oh, I forgot about this big-ass thing. Oh, my God. All right, let's see if we can do it. Come on. I don't have any mana to fight this guy. Come on. There we go. Heavy hitter. Bring that heavy hitter in here. Yeah, so we're just gonna fight this guy real quick. I didn't mean to get all into this, but yeah, whatever. Let's go with it. Jesus. All right, come on. What is heal? There we go. Haven't played enough in a while. Come on. There we go. Woo. There, finally. All right. Very nice. Anyway, forgot all that about that guy. So let's come over here and grab this. I don't even know what this is. Have I just, like, not ever done this before? Come on. Yeah, I'm on New Game Plus, so there are things that pop up that I probably haven't run into yet. All right, cool. So let's roll. All right, so yeah, that was pretty exciting. All right, so yeah, we are in the 70s here. So let's jump over and see what we can expect by going up a little bit more on our graphics here to ray tracing very high. All right, so this is very high, and that will give you a lot of different things. Mainly global illumination gets tackled, and you have transparency in things like water. Puddles look really good. I'm just trying to find maybe a location to show you guys without getting too involved in what I just did. Yeah, so let's jump over here and just kind of run through it and see what we can expect. We have 48 in this forest. This forest is pretty demanding. Let's see if I can jump over here and golly, I don't like those dudes. They freak me out. All right, so let's come over here. All right, so yeah, we are looking like 51 in this area, 52. So right here, this is our settings. So let's jump over here and just check it out. Of course, we're on performance, very high level of ray tracing with very high graphics presets. Now we can go up to cinematic. This would be a completely maxed out way to play the game with no frame generation. You can do some frame generation here. Your PCL, or your latency rather, is in the 40s. So that is a decent place to frame generate from. It's just completely up to you. So what I'm going to do now is just show you guys kind of what some frame generation will look like on top of everything. And then I'll kind of set up something that is for ultra performance, which is going to require the L model. So once I do that, I'll back out and come back in and do all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do here is just go up to a 2x. We're not going to do any more frame generation than we really need because it's just added latency for no real benefit. That only raises your latency to 54 milliseconds, or a little over 50 milliseconds, which is fine on a controller, and probably good enough for most people on mouse and keyboard, honestly. I don't think that that's really a bad setting at all. I'm going to travel somewhere else. I'm going to go back to a much calmer area here. So let's just go to, let's see here, Front Hills. Let's go. But yeah, once I do that, I'll be able to jump over to the L model and show you what really can look good on ultra performance. I mean, this can really look super sharp now, even with that ultra performance, which used to look just god awful. I mean, it looked so bad. But right here, you are at 47 milliseconds of latency, and you have 96 FPS. Let's just work our way on up through the frame generation settings here. Just to kind of check out the latency and see how high you can go without adding too much additional latency that's gonna not feel good. So let's just go ahead and wear these guys out. These guys are way easier. I don't have to fight giant bullfrogs. But yeah, we are at 126 FPS here with a latency of 56 milliseconds. And I think that's really good. Personally, I think that's fine. If you're on a controller, again, there are a few folks out there, and yeah, it feels really good. Controller on this title feels really nice. The latency doesn't bother me whatsoever. All right, so let me jump over to 4X. Get to the right tab here. So we're going to go to 4X and kick it on. All right, so yeah, 4X frame gen. Latency went up a tad. We're at high 50s now, mid 50s. So still not too bad. It's touching 60 here and there. So, you know, that might be a little too high for some folks. But again, on a controller, it does not bother me at all. It feels very snappy, very one-to-one movement with my sticks. So again, it's all personal preference. But right here, you can completely max it out on performance with very acceptable latency. And on the controller for sure, and mouse and keyboard, you know, it's just kind of up to you what you're most sensitive to. So just gonna run through here real quick. Big snag there. It's also gonna snag in this cave where this light is. This is typically a spot where it will hang up. There it goes. But yeah, this game still has issues. It's better than launch, but you know, that's why 1% lows just tank. You have these just very micro stutters in weird little areas that you know, you just can't do anything about. I did not mean to do that. Let me go ahead and do this. All right, you guys just have fun with them. But yeah, we're at 130, 150 FPS here. And let's just jump over and go to the very next level here of we're going to go check out this setting here. So we're going to turn frame gen off. We are going to leave ray tracing on very high and cinematic. So let's just keep everything the same, but I'm going to drop it down to 33. Now this is still the M model. All right, so bear that in mind. The L model tends to look a little bit better when it comes to ultra performance, but it still looks way better than it ever has, if that makes sense at all. But yeah, we are looking like 58, 56 FPS here. So there are points where without frame generation, you will still dip down into the 50s. But let's jump through it here. Go through some frame gen on this setting, and then I'm going to kick it over to, oops, hang on, let me find it. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to kick it over to ultra performance, but on the L model. So right now we're on preset M. All right, so right here, we're still at 133, 136 FPS, still looks really good. Micro stutters are still present. There went one just there. So we still have some issues when it comes to this game with those 1% lows and 0.1% lows. It's just the game. I don't want to mislead anyone. The game just still has issues when it comes to those micro stutters, and I just think it's Unreal Engine. This is one of the games that really utilized the whole suite of tools on that. So you are seeing people start to back off of using Lumen and stuff like that. So who knows? We might see more stable UE5 titles, but this one, I mean, it doesn't crash a lot, but it definitely has micro stutters. I mean, that frame time graph is definitely a little bit spiky down there. So that's where they're coming from. Here's some water over here. I just want to kind of show off a little bit of that very high ray tracing. So as you can see, we've got some just really nice transparency in there. It looks really, really good. There's another puddle up here that looks even better, but I'm going to jump down and see what the very next level of frame gen looks like. Let's come over here, go to 3x. All right, so latency, let's see what that does here. Latency is still at about 41 milliseconds there. So let's see, where are we at here? Just to do a real quick recap. So very high cinematic 3x. Okay, I just want to make sure that I am remembering what settings I have here. So there's still little micro stutters. It cannot seem to just like run perfect by any means, but that's just how it's always been on this game. Let's see here. This is the puddle I wanted to show you guys. See how the transparency is? It just like looks really, really good. That is thanks to that very high ray tracing. It'll bring in a lot of transparency, especially when it comes to water, and it looks really nice. There we go. Wear him out. All right, so let's jump up to 4x here and see what we can expect. Let's go down to 4x. All right. Let's see. All right, let's come over here and get this dude here. So we just Go ahead and transform into this dude. Come on. At least connect. Get over there. There we go. Sweet. All right. So, yeah, let's come over here and do this guy. All right. Come on. You done. He's got a lot more health. All right. Sweet. So, let's keep on rolling through it. So, 209 FPS here. I'm going to switch back. That dude's too slow. All right. So, 209 FPS here. All right. So, let's jump over. Let's switch it to Ultra Performance. All right. So we'll not switch it to, but we're going to switch it to the L model on Ultra Performance. So I'm going to set that up now. So we're going to bring all this off, keep everything basically maxed out. I just want to keep it as you know, similar to this as possible. And then I'm going to back out, shut the game down, restart, switch that model over, and I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll jump back in. All right. So I'm going to quit the game and return desktop. Yes. Okay. So once this loads up, you're just basically going to go into your NVIDIA app here. Make sure you go to settings, go to about, make sure this is checked. Once you check that and go up to drivers, it will have it, you know, indicated here that you need to do an update. You do that update. Once you get everything updated, it'll kick you back over into this. And then you just come down here to graphics and go to Black Myth Wukong or whatever game you want to override. Come way down here and go to model presets. All right. So we're going to switch this over to the L preset. All right, so that's all we need to do. So now we can jump back into the game and adventure on. So I'll see you over there. All right, so here we are back in preset L. As you can see, we are at 82, 83 FPS here on preset L. We definitely have a little bit more performance, and we have a latency of around 32.7 milliseconds. Let's just jump over here. I'll show you what we're working with. So let's come into graphics. 33, that's where you want to be. And then, of course, ray tracing is on very high, cinematic. So all this improves the usefulness of Ultra Performance while maintaining a very, very sharp image. So 80 FPS, completely maxed out, Ultra Performance. And the big thing is generally you could get numbers similar to this before this 4.5 update on Ultra Performance. However, it looked like complete garbage. It was horrible looking. It looked so blurry. The distant objects looked awful. Everything was just like really flickery and breaking down. This new model looks insanely better. I'd probably say 90% better at least. And, you know, you are able to enjoy basically a completely maxed out title with nothing really going on other than, you know, just doing some upscale. Now, frame generation can bring in a lot more performance, obviously, but look at our latency. I mean, it's still way down. This is much better than the M model for, you know, basically just a setting you have to switch over. But yeah, we're at 133 FPS here with a latency of 34, 37 milliseconds. It's going to snag right here, right there. There it is. Yeah, but yeah, we have some really nice performance now, finally, other than the 1% lows and 0.1% lows and the stuttering that no one can ever figure out how to fix. We have a really nice running title here. So let's just jump over and go to the very next level of frame generation. Let's kick it over, and we have 165 FPS here. Latency is nice and low at 41 milliseconds, and everything looks incredibly sharp. Now, what you can do also is come in here and just go to your display and see about sharpening it up a little bit. And the good thing is, I max it out for a reason. You can sharpen it. This is a little bit over sharpened, but I'm doing this for a reason. Normally when you over sharpened things, you would get a lot of ghosting whenever you would frame generate. Now, it's kind of over sharpening it on purpose because there is just no more ghosting anymore. It's just completely gone now. And I don't know what magic wand they did to fix this, but it seems to me like that is going to be a big issue going forward, is getting frame generation to be less latent and not ghost. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we do get that. I'm going to reduce the sharpening a little bit. That was just for kind of, you know, demonstration purposes. But yeah, let's go back to kind of a normal look. So things are not over sharpened. This looks a lot better. But yeah, we've got 35 milliseconds, 37 milliseconds here, 195 FPS. And I mean, look at it. It looks really, really good. Even though it's upscaled like crazy, it still looks nice. There's nothing like this, really, that I can think of when it comes to upscaling for FSR or XeSS or any of those other things. So really, NVIDIA is killing it on the upscaling. You know, for all their business practices that I do not agree with, I can get behind them when I say that, you know, I really do appreciate what they've done here with upscaling. It's basically giving everyone a free tier upgrade on their graphics card because this is, you know, looks so good. This is great. You know, I mean, you don't have to go spend an exceedingly disastrous amount of money on a card when you can upscale from ultra performance now for whatever it's worth. I know people don't really agree with upscaling all that much, but I've just kind of resolved the fact that in my mind, if we don't want 1600 watt cards, we're going to have to get used to upscaling because things are just that intensive. Things will get better, but that's just what we're going to have to work with right now. But here is our puddle that we looked at. This is nice and transparent, looks really good. So yeah, this is completely maxed out. So let's jump over and go to that very next level of frame generation. As you can see here, everything is completely maxed out. Everything is to the wall. We've got 222 FPS with a latency of 43 milliseconds. And that is due to that auto being switched on. Without the auto being switched on, I believe it's probably going to jump up a good bit. So let's come down here and find our preset here. Where is it? There we go. It's up here. Where is it? Super resolution frame. Okay, low latency mode. Okay, that's right. So if you frame generate, it turns that on automatically. So what I'm going to do now is just turn frame generation off and show you what our latency would look like without that. And just kind of see what we can expect here. So again, no frame generation. We're not using the auto override for latency. That is a bit ambiguous to me. Normally it will say like reflex or reflex plus boost, but this game just says auto. So what I'm suspecting is that once it gets to latent, it kicks on and off, you know, kind of independently from your settings. So that's all I can really figure is going on there. So yeah, this has just been a pretty big, huge look at it. I just wanted to kind of go through all the settings with you guys and make sure that you're understanding what I'm hopefully understanding is that DLSS 4.5 is quite nice. I want to do a really quick look at what I would probably play like in this title. I'd probably just kick it down to very high, you know, and you just not necessarily need to use as much upscaling. You know, you could say that that's a pretty decent way to play it. You know, so I mean, right here it gives us 143, 152. I probably have some frame generation on. I just want to make sure what I have is, yeah, I don't want auto. Let's turn that off. Let's go with frame generation off for now, just to see where we're at. So that's 49 FPS. You know, that's pretty much like in the range. I would definitely do some frame generation. But yeah, let's see if I can get rid of this guy real quick. All right, I need the heavy hitter. These guys have a lot of health on New Game Plus. Sweet. All right, cool. All right, yeah, so right here, obviously I would probably disagree with what I just said that I would play on this title. On this setting, I would probably play it on this setting with some frame generation. But I would probably just come down here to 33. You know, just don't even need to do frame generation. This is plenty. It looks really, really good on the L model. And you're in the 70s. This will hopefully keep you above 60 all of the time here. So this is, you know, again, this is all just personal. Oh man, I've got a bunch of dudes around me. Let's go ahead and get this dude here. All right. Where is he at? Where is he at? Okay, I got them all. All right, yeah, so really what you can expect is a really good performing title, especially on the L preset. And yeah, we're just going to wrap it up there. This one's been a little bit all over the place. Just kind of, you know, went off the cuff of what I was feeling today for this video. So yeah, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.